Propulsion engineer Alex Stryker works in the Deimos thermal vacuum chamber. All Astral Prime engineers are locked in an endless quest to maximize spaceship performance in the extreme temperatures and radiation found in the vacuum of space.
Everything about Astral Prime is competitive.
Using gravity slingshot.
It's technical, it's astrophysics, it's strategy.
And Phineas uses the gravity assist to slingshot around Aisha Khan for the checkered flag!
I had a perfect career with Nebula. We won 6 constructor championships, Phineas won 5 pilot championships, and I decided to take a break.
This was historical era for Nebula. I accept his resignation because he said he want to relax on Earth speeches. If I know he want to join another team, that for me would be disaster.
After Texas seceded from the Union, North America was vulnerable, and it really destabilized the whole planet. Tensions ran very high, escalating in the South Pacific dirty bomb crisis.
It was not a good situation for my family.
Can you speak a little about Orion? You were CEO?
At a fundamental level, we lacked experience with race ships. As you know, Orion manufactures interplanetary freighters. That's what my background is in. I know how those companies operate. In many ways, Orion had too much money and was burning resources on the wrong things. What we really needed was a first-rate technical director. But in Astral Prime, those are hard to come by.
In a bold move, Orion Racing plucks Alex Stryker out of retirement.
Nebula really wanted me to come back and do the same thing, but Shell wasn't interested in. But Dante offered me the next step in my career, which was team principal, in charge of everything.
It was a big risk to go from a comfortable, dominant environment. And not that Orion wasn't a small team, they had one of the biggest budgets in Astral Prime. But they weren't delivering on the circuit.
They were the sleeping giants. And there were new regulations following the season, so it was critical we dedicate our resources around them. And that was a strategic opportunity that everyone else overlooked.
Understeering is atrocious. My vector is miles off course.
AI navigation must be corrupted. Switch to the redundant system.
Copy.
Phineas is trying to overtake, attempting low-orbit slingshot.
You're too close to the atmosphere. Heat shield is under too much stress. Pull up. Pull up, pull up!
There are moments in Astral Prime when the volume drops, and you know what that means.
Today, the space racing community is in mourning following a tragic accident involving the Morrison AP team. The tragedy has sent shockwaves through the racing world, leaving fans and fellow competitors grappling with grief.
This was a scary one. I felt quite alone in that moment.
You can't do anything. Just wait, but you know. You know.
It was devastating, obviously. But when you race ships long enough, something like this is bound to happen. The only thing that you can do is get back out there, keep going. And ultimately, having known Mateo as long as I did, that's what he would want us to do.
accident happened while the APA was updating their regulations for the following season. So it had a big effect on the changes that were made.
The APA revised AI guidance regulations, but at the same time they removed some wording that specified combustion as the propellant. We had a junior propulsion engineer who was able to interpret these new regulations creatively.
Orion's fusion-powered engine works by superheating hydrogen plasma, allowing the nuclei to fuse and release high-energy neutrons that are directed through a magnetic nozzle and converted into thrust.
Prior to the first qualifying race of the season, we ran simulations that put us minutes ahead in time. We knew then that we had something really special on our hands.
And in Astral Prime news, Phineas Somerville and the Orion team take first place at the Saturn Grand Prix, putting them 70 points ahead of second place in what has become the biggest lead in the sport's history.
The best way to make enemies in Astral Prime is by winning.
At first, I congratulate Alex for helping turn Orion around, but they went too far.
Stryker is a cheat, plain and simple. Their fusion drive breaks every rule in the book.
We protested with the APA to find out what their position is. The whole concept of these new regulations was undermined by a fusion drive.
Just when we thought things couldn't get any worse, the bottom fell out.
Experts call it an economic apocalypse. Anti-tech terrorist groups spark a bloody revolution worldwide.
AI and Astral Prime have been integrated from the start. It's impossible to deal with guidance, navigation, mathematics in real time without it. And that's why the sport became such a target during the revolution.
It was all about survival at that point. Orion execs brought us into a boardroom with lawyers and HR and told us it was all over.
It wasn't right what they were trying to do. It wasn't legal.
They didn't see any other way out.
And that's when you offered to buy the company?
Yes, for $1. Instead of spending $2 billion to shut everything down, why not give us 1.9, save 800 jobs, and let us finish out the season?
After all the setbacks, the other teams had a chance to catch up by building their own fusion drives, and Orion needed to place at least third at the Jupiter Grand Prix to win the Solar System Championship, but no one could have predicted what was going to happen.
Mercenaries had commandeered military spacecraft and were on an intercept course to take us out.
Every nuclear-powered nation was ready to launch their missiles if any ship were attacked.
We were on the brink of extinction, and that's when it appeared.
Oh my god, what the hell is that?
Everything you thought was important, all the fighting, it all became meaningless in that one moment.
It will forever be burned in my mind.
Through some variation of the Doppler effect, the ship detected quantum state changes induced by the fusion drives.
This sentient AI ship was built by a highly advanced civilization on the other side of the galaxy that, we would learn, had annihilated itself through war. So this ship was orphaned and left to wander the stars for the last 120 years.
Throughout most of human history, our ancestors believed Earth was the center of the universe. But once we realized the simple truth, even children can explain how solar system works. And it was the same thing for the knowledge that this being provided us.
Quantum providence.
The orphaned AI adopted humanity and took us under its wing to usher in a remarkable era of peace and prosperity. Everything before that historical event became meaningless. As a result, the day of its arrival was universally accepted as Day 1.